What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And for today, man, I had a couple of you guys requesting that I make a video on the new World Boss Ultimate stage that we just got for update 4.2. This one right here, guys. And now we have EBONY MAW, and we can now farm for Universal Titan records with the intention of tier 3 Thor. Okay, that's at least my intention as of right now, because I want to freaking mop the floor with some people using my Thor. So I see a lot of you guys jumping in here and you're using the same teams that you were using against the previous world bosses. A lot of you guys now have a tier 3 Captain America, and I see people going in here and expecting to freaking crush this thing using Captain America. However, you're in for a really difficult fight if you can even clear it with Captain America, because this is exactly what's gonna happen when you try to do this thing. You're gonna come to the shocking realization that physical attack based characters cannot beat EBONY MAW. No matter how strong they are, you're gonna see that one pop up consistently. Okay, you're taking a massive even his tier 3 skill. Take a look at this, guys. We're gonna charge the tier 3 skill. Look at that, it deals basically no damage. Okay, like after 30 seconds, we don't even have a bar off this freaking guy. Okay, now take a look at this. We're gonna take one of my weaker tier 2 characters, and we're gonna pick one that basically has no element, and we're gonna do it again, and I'll show you guys the difference. Okay, I'll pick one of my weakest tier 2 characters that someone who's not physical. Ideally someone who's not physical. You know what, we'll even go in here with a tier 1 Nova and see what happens. All right, let's see if a tier 1 Nova, since he's an energy based character, not physical, can out DPS my tier 3 Captain America because of that reduction. If that happens, you guys should know exactly what time it is. Okay, so it doesn't look like he's gonna be able to do it, but his damage numbers doesn't look much different from what Captain America was doing, right? For the most part, it's just the same. I'm just playing this on auto right now. I'm not even touching the D-pad, so you guys can see, right? So basically, no matter how strong your character is, if they're dealing physical damage, they're no different than a tier 1 character. Okay, look at this. Okay, this is freaking ridiculous. So what you guys need to be doing is actually using elemental based, energy based characters. Okay, not just elemental characters. However, you want to use the elemental characters that actually deal energy based damage, because although Red Hulk will definitely do better than my Captain America, since his damage is still physical, it's not going to be as effective, and I'll show you guys what I mean right here. So you guys will take a look at this right here, and you guys can see exactly what I mean, man. So let's pop that guard. One thing about him is gonna get guard broken and interrupted pretty often. Yeah, he just keeps getting interrupted. So yeah, he's not built for this. So you can see for yourself, you're not seeing the one pop up as often for him, but because he just keeps getting interrupted, it's just, yeah, so he basically did more damage than my Captain America in the same amount of time, simply because his attacks are at the very least elemental. But still, because he's a physical based character, he's not designed to do well on this stage. So who should you guys be using here is the question, right? And I'm going to show you guys, I believe, about 13 characters as of right now that can do this very easily. Granted, this is a very early stage, but I just wanted to give you guys some examples. So right here are the characters that you should ideally be using on this thing. But honestly, as you progress further and further, only about, I would say, maybe 10 or 11 of these choices are going to be very effective. And that's what I wanted to break down for you guys in this one. So the number 1 character on this list, obviously, without a shadow of a doubt, is actually my girl, Scarlet Witch, in her Infinity War uniform One, because as you can see right here, 3 of her 5 skills are mind-based skills, meaning they deal mind damage, and mind is an element. So that's why she's really effective here. And on top of that, she has mind control, so she can just keep him in place basically for the entirety of the fight. So that's really, really good. And since she's an energy-based character, she's not taking that physical strain that the other characters are getting applied to them, okay? Next character right here is definitely Jean Grey. And for the same reason, 3 of her 5 skills are freaking fire-based, okay? So that's really, really good. And her 4 is actually the highest damaging skill in her kit, so that's really, really good for her as well. And she can also time freeze and revive and all that crazy stuff that we all know that Jean Grey can already do. So that's why she's the second best character here. I put Wanda at number 1 since she has the uniform and she can be level 70. And on top of that, since she has a better leadership for this at the very least, like seriously, because of the 45% increase to her attack, that means you can run 2 support type. You can run Phil Coulson and Shuri, whereas for Jean Grey, you have to give her attack leadership and then put a support as well. So that's why she's above Jean Grey in this one. Number 3 right here is actually going to be Luna Snow, because as you guys can see, all of her skills are freaking chill, or rather cold based damage, okay? So she's really, really good for this. One of the best characters you can possibly use here. Number 4 is actually going to be Thor, and if you get him to level 70 and give him a damage proc, I would dare say he's probably number 3, if not number 2, just behind Scarlet Witch, okay? Simply because you still have to give Thor a leadership and then a support. You can't run 2 supports with him. And yeah, number 5 on this list is actually going to be Dormammu. Dormammu, as you guys can see right here, he's rocking 4 fire-based skills and 1 regular energy-based skill. Dormammu is really, really good for this. If you have an attack proc on him, that's going to be really good. Just give him Red Hulk's lead or Satana's leadership, and he will be really freaking awesome for this. He can actually one-shot the phases, and that's actually really, really awesome. So Dormammu is once again relevant in the game, and I'm really happy about that. Number 6 on this list is actually going to be Loki, and as you can see, this is why, okay? We have multiple cold-based skills, and his clones, however, even though they don't deal chill damage, or at the very least, I'm not 100% sure they deal chill damage, they deal energy-based damage, and that's actually really good, and they actually do work in this stage. Number 7 is actually my boy, Inferno. Absolutely love this guy. As you guys can see right here, all his skills are fire-based, and they're all energy-based, and that's the 2 prerequisites that you need to meet if you want to do really, really well against EBONY MAW. And as you guys can see right here, his 3rd skill will buff him, which makes him incredibly powerful because you can run him with Satana or Red Hulk in the lead, Shuri beside him, and then he's going to buff himself even further for 24% more energy attack. So that's really, really good. And the next character on this list is actually going to be the only member of the Black Order who does not have an Infinity War uniform. Yes, Super Giant can indeed do this. She does require some finesse to play, but as you can see, all of her skills are mind-based and they're all energy-based. And if you hit the 3 and hit the 5 properly and time it on a damage proc, you can actually melt the bars off freaking EBONY MAW. Next character on this list is actually going to be Hellstorm. This guy needs immunity to guard break and a damage proc, but he's really, really good because he can buff himself, as you guys can see right here, similar to Inferno, and he has a significant amount of damage with really good survivability. All his attacks are energy-based and they're all fire-based as well. And the next character on this list is actually going to be Satana, and the reason why I put Satana below Hellstorm is because of the fact that Hellstorm actually has immunity that you can control. You can choose when you activate the immunity for him. However, for her, you actually have to rely on luck and RNG for you to get your immunity, so she's not as safe to play. However, as you guys can see, she has one of the best elemental leaderships in the game. Actually, this is the best elemental leadership in the game. And when you use her in the leadership role, and then you can use either Valkyrie, Coulson, or Shuri beside her, and that actually exponentially increases her DPS. And next character on this list is actually going to be this guy, Robbie Reyes. Now, I put Robbie this low simply because even though he's an energy-based character, as you guys can see, and all of his attacks are fire-based, certain portion of his skills actually deal physical damage. So some of his skills won't be dealing as much damage as the other characters. However, he's very, very safe, and if you give him a damage proc and play him properly, he can definitely get this thing done. And the next character on this list is actually going to be Black Widow. Yes, Widow can do this. Even though she's a physical character, she can definitely do the earlier phases, okay? She can definitely do the earlier phases. Like I said, only the top 10 can consistently do this as the stage progresses and get higher, but Widow can definitely do the lower phases. And you're going to heavily rely on the 1 on the 5 with her. The other skills are not going to do any damage. So she's basically just a last resort, okay? And uniform is definitely required for her. And next character here, like I said, we're getting into the bottom of the barrel here, is actually going to be Storm. Storm can definitely do this. As you can see, her 1 and her 5 are lightning based skills, and she's an energy based character. However, like I said, she's only going to be good for those lower levels. Once you get past maybe 9 or 10, I don't see Storm being able to do this consistently. Same goes for Widow, and same goes for the other character that I'm going to name right here, Mysterio. Mysterio, as you guys can see, all his attacks are mind-based, and he's an energy-based character, so he qualifies, and he can definitely do the earlier phases. However, once you progress past 10, unless you have him built extremely well, I don't see him being able to do it. Another character here that I put at the very end, simply because I don't have her at tier 2, but if I did have her at tier 2, I feel like she would definitely be like top 5, maybe top 6 in this list, and that's actually Emma Frost, because as you guys can see right here, all her skills are mind based, and she's an energy based character, and she has mind control, so that's actually really, really good. And guys, I'm gonna leave you with some gameplay of me using these guys for about 10 seconds each to show you what their DPS is like and how well they do in comparison to what I showed you guys at the beginning of the video when we were using physical based characters. So that being said, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so we're gonna start off with the Queen. Like I said, Scarlet Witch is probably the best character for this thing, and we're gonna test it with her and see how fast we can get him down to the first phase where he starts summoning the meteors. Alright, so we just melted. Jeez, a lot of bars went off this guy. Alright guys, so second test, we got Jean Grey with one of my best Jean Grey teams. And same thing, we're gonna test to see how fast Jean Grey can push him into phase 2. Alright guys, so Luna Snow test. We're running Misty Knight in place of She-Hulk. And we're gonna see just how fast she can push him into phase 2. Okay, so we melted off like, woo, a lot of bars. Goddamn. Alright boys, so we're gonna run Lincoln Lead with Thor and Phil Coulson. Now keep in mind, my Thor doesn't have a damage proc right now, but we're gonna see just how fast Thor can push Ebony into phase 2. Alright boys, so we got Dormammu. Now Dormammu should ideally be a lot faster than Thor since he has a damage proc, but keep in mind once Thor is level 70 and he has a damage proc, that will change. So that's why his rank is where it is. Yep, 5 seconds, very good. Alright boys, so we got Loki and we're running with Hela's lead. Let's see how fast Loki can do this. Alright boys, so we got Inferno. Let's see if we can one-shot it with Inferno, because this guy's a beast. Once we activate that, let's go. Melt. Jeez! Alright, so same thing. We're going to try to do the same thing we just did with Inferno. We're just going to pop the 3, then the 5, and see if we can melt a few bars. Feel it! Now, if my Hellstorm had a damage proc, I could ideally go 3-5, and I feel like that the result would be pretty close to what it is for Inferno. But since he doesn't, and he doesn't have immunity to guard break, which he needs, it's gonna take a little while. Not much longer though, but around, yep. So we got Satana, and the times should be very, very close. Satana does have a damage proc though, so keep that in mind. The reason why her rank is so much lower than the others is because of the fact that her immunity, you can't control it. Alright, and I hope you guys remember what I said about Robbie earlier. I want you guys to pay close attention here, and you're gonna see the ones pop up for Robbie. Especially on his 5th. When the car is hitting, there we have it. There we have it. So some of his attacks, you're losing a little bit of damage because they're physical based. And we're gonna do Widow here just for sport to show you guys it is possible. It's not ideal, but it is possible. You're just heavily reliant on the 5th and the 1. Yeah, so her clear time is just a little bit behind the others. Well, not clear time, but phase. And then we're gonna use a Storm here, similar to Widow, just to show you guys that it is not ideal, but it's doable. Especially if you have strikers, right? So her time is just around the same as Widow's. And then we got Mysterio, guys. Believe it or not, he's gonna be significantly slower than the others, but he's an option if you really stack him and give him like a damage proc. Mine has invincibility, so if you give him a damage proc and you have strikers and he's the only character you have, he could potentially clear one of the lower phases for you. So it's gonna take about maybe 20 seconds to push him into phase 2. Yeah, it's taking a little bit longer. This is why he's at the end of the list, guys. This guy's taking forever. And there you guys have it, man. I just wanted to give you guys some practical application of these characters in action and the teams that you could potentially be using. I know this one was long, really long, but I hope it was very informative for those of you guys who are struggling and you're wondering what it is you were doing wrong all this time. Hopefully now you know that you need to use elemental energy-based characters up against EBONY MAW. I know some of you guys may be thinking, why didn't I just make a solo video for every single one of these characters? And maybe I will do that in the future. If you guys want to see me use every single one of these guys to clear him, maybe I will. But I just wanted to give you guys a look at how they individually perform, because I didn't want to just say, hey, these characters can do it, without showing you that yes, they can indeed do it. Obviously we know that Jean Grey, Dormammu, and the other top tier characters can definitely do it, but I still wanted to show them as well and give you guys a comparison between their time and some of the other characters like Black Widow, Storm, Inferno, and the others. But that's it for this one, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope it was informative. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and love, and I'm gone.